if 60 grams of M combines with 24 grams of oxygen, what would the empirical formula of the oxide be when the atomic mass of oxygen is 16 and that of M is 120? So before we begin, I would love to explain what we mean by empirical formula. So the empirical formula of a compound is the simplest whole number ratio of elements in that compound. So let's solve this question. So solving, we have two elements in this compound. So we are asked to find the empirical formula of the oxide. So we have to solve and check which of these options is the correct answer. So we have 60 grams of M. So M has 60 grams. That is the mass is 60 grams combined with 24 grams of oxygen, and oxygen is 24 grams. But we all know that as given in the question, M has at a mass of 120, so we are going to divide this by 120, and we have the 60 divided by 120 will give us 0.5. So this is 0.5, and here we have 24 divided by the mass of oxygen, which is 16. So we have 24 divided by 16. This gives us 1.5. So what we do from this point is to divide through by the lowest ratio gotten. So this is 0.5. We divide also the other side by 0.5. So 0.5 divided by 0.5 here gives us 1 ratio. Here we have 1.5 divided by 0.5 here gives us 3. So here we have 3. So looking at this, that means M is going to be M1 and O3. So this is the same. M1 is the same thing as saying M. Then we have the O3. So the empirical formula of the oxide is, as asked in the question, the empirical formula is MO3. So looking at the options, the correct option is option C, which is MO3. So let's move on to the next question, which is number 10. Let's read out the question. 10. The question says the product of electrolysis of dilute sodium chloride using carbon electrodes are. So we have to look at the options and find out which of these options is the correct answer. Option A says chlorine is at the anode while sodium is at the cathode. Option B says oxygen is at the anode while hydrogen is at the cathode. Option C says chlorine is at the anode while hydrogen is at the cathode. While the last option, which is option D, says hydrogen is at the anode while oxygen is at the cathode. So using inert electrodes, the product of electrolysis of dilute chloride using carbon electrodes is oxygen at the anode and hydrogen at the cathode, which is option B. Let me prove this by writing out the chemical equation. So at the anode, I'm going to write the chemical equation. That's what happens at the anode. 4OH minus, which gives us 2H2O plus oxygen plus 4E minus. So this is what occurs at the anode, okay? So at the cathode, 2H plus 2E minus, which gives us H2. In at the anode and at the cathode, okay, the product of the electrolysis is oxygen at the anode and then hydrogen at the cathode. So this simplifies and answers the question. That is the answer to this question number 10.